The House will come to order. The invocation today will be given by Pastor Greg Briggs from Edgewood United Church of Christ in East Lansing, guests of Representative Devendorf. Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise?
Today's invocation is inspired by everyone's favorite 17th century German theologian, Rupertus Mendelius. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. So today we invoke the spirit of unity in the essentials, that government is instituted for the equal benefit, security, and protection of the people, and that no person shall be denied the equal protection of the laws of this state or of the nation. Today, we also seek to invoke the spirit of liberty, that each person gathered here today is governed by their own conscience, their own beliefs, their own moral code, which brings them to different priorities and different solutions. Lastly, we seek to invoke the overriding spirit of charity, of loving kindness, that in our liberty and in our unity, we stay connected to the common thread of goodness that binds us together. That we are gathered here as servants of the people, not just for our own gain. Remind us of our vows and oaths, and remind us of the deeper truths embedded in them. We are called here to serve and support one another. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. And in all things, charity. Thank you.
The clerk will open the board for the purpose of taking attendance. The board is now open. Members, you may check in at your desks. The Speaker recognizes, for the purpose of a special announcement, the Speaker recognizes Representative Kunse.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. One of the people that makes Lansing work well, and I gotta have to say she really takes personal protection to another level. I would like to wish a special happy birthday to Deputy Chief McHenry.
Colleagues, please join me in wishing Deputy Chief McHenry, sorry about that fawn. Happy birthday. Members, if I can have your attention, please. For the purpose of an introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Woolford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I rise to recognize Justin Prosser. Justin began serving his community at a young age, starting at 2000 with the Howell Fire Department, where he first served as a cadet firefighter before becoming a full firefighter after graduating high school. Justin went on to serve our nation with distinction in the United States Marine Corps, deploying with the 24th MEU in support of global war on terrorism and earning the rank of sergeant. Upon returning home, Justin continued serving with the Howell Fire Department until 2014.
Members, can I get your attention, please? If you have to have a conversation, you may please take it off the floor or give the Speaker your attention. The Speaker recognizes Representative Woolford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today he leads as president of Local Lodge 0025 and as a conductor and maintenance of way heavy equipment operator. In closing, Justin Prosser's record reflects a life dedicated to uplifting and supporting his community. Therefore, on behalf of the Michigan House of Representatives, I'm proud to present this tribute to Justin Prosser. He's one of the few, the proud, the Marines. Madam Speaker, I ask my colleagues to join me in honoring Justin Prosser for his extraordinary leadership and his lifelong commitment to serving others.
Will the special guest of Representative Woolford please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives, and thank you for your service. The Midwesterner out of Muskegon has permission to record today's session. For the purpose of an introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Green.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is a privilege to have the middle school principals from my area with me today in the gallery. Mr. Verl Gilbert, principal of Hahn Intermediate School in Davison, and his son Jackson, and Mr. Wyatt Stevens, the principal of the middle school in Lapeer.
Will the guests of Representative Green please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to excuse all absent members.
So ordered. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce today's attendance.
Madam Speaker, quorum of the House is present. There are no members absent with prior excuse.
Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise and join me now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The House will go at ease at the call of the chair.
For the purposes of introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Carter.
Thank you. Oh, there we go. Colleagues, can I have your attention for one moment? Both sides, one moment. Hey, you guys over there, one moment. This is a huge announcement. I don't do this often, but I just want to say, happy birthday to Deputy Chief Vaughn McHenry.
For the purposes of an introduction, the chair recognizes Representative MacDonell.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce friends from my district from the Troy Historic Village, a very important gem in Troy that serves all around Oakland County. And we have Jen Peters, the Executive Director of Troy Historic Village, and Shelby Nelson, the Adult Programs Director.
Will the special guest of Representative MacDonell please rise and welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purposes of an introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Beson.
Thank you, Clerk. And yes, Clerk Brown, I am standing up. I would like to introduce a couple people in the South Gallery from the Michigan Association of Conservation District, Olivia and Aaron.
Will the special guest Representative Beson please rise? Welcome to the House of Representatives. For the purposes of an introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Conlin.
Yes, hello. I would like to introduce some good friends and guests that I have and constituents who are with the cultural and arts community and are here advocating on the part of the arts in Michigan and beyond Washtenaw County, and they are in the East Gallery.
Welcome, Representative Conlin's guests to the Michigan House of Representatives.
The House will come to order. The Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House proceed to the order of motions. Resolution 12.
Without objection, so ordered. Members, the House has a memorial resolution. Will all members and staff please take your seats? The clerk will read.
To the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Sarah Haywood, transmit to the House of Representatives Senate Concurrent Resolution 12, a concurrent resolution of tribute offered as a memorial for Bruce Patterson, former member of the Michigan Senate and Michigan House of Representatives.
Speaker recognizes Representative DeSana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise in support of this memorial resolution honoring the life and service of former State Senator Bruce Patterson, a dedicated public servant who spent decades working on behalf of the people of Michigan. Bruce Patterson was a Republican from Canton, Michigan, and a proud native of Wayne County. He earned both his bachelor's degree in 1969 and his law degree in 1972 from Wayne State University, before building a successful legal career and becoming president of the law firm McCabe, Middleton, and Patterson. Bruce believed that success should be paralleled with service. He devoted much of his life to strengthening his community and supporting civic institutions across Wayne County. He served 2 terms as a Wayne County Commissioner and held leadership roles in numerous organizations, including the Canton Economic Club, the Canton Republican Club, the Canton Community Foundation, the Schoolcraft College Foundation, and many other organizations. His commitment to the community was recognized when he was inducted into the Canton Township Hall of Fame in 1992. In 1998, Bruce Patterson was elected to the Michigan House of Representatives. His colleagues quickly recognized his leadership, electing him Associate Speaker pro tempore, making him the first freshman legislator ever chosen by his peers for that leadership role. He later continued his service in the Michigan Senate, where he represented his district and worked on issues important to the people of his state, representing also New Boston, Huron Township, and Flat Rock. If you ever met Bruce, you would remember him from his classic Scotch-Irish mustache that he wore his entire life. On a personal note, when I first ran for this seat, Bruce called me up and said, "Let's meet for lunch." And we met in Romulus, Michigan at his favorite restaurant, Leonardo's, just a short time ago. Beyond his professional and public life, Bruce Patterson was a devoted husband to his wife Phyllis and a proud father to his children, Justin, Denise, and Lauren. Today, we remember a man who dedicated his life to public service, to his community, and to the people of Michigan. On behalf of this House, we extend our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and all those who had the privilege of serving alongside him. Thank you, Speaker. I respectfully ask for the House's support of this resolution.
The question before the House is the adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution 12. All members in favor of the resolution, please rise. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Representative DeSana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I have with me on the floor Bruce's granddaughter Tanis and her grandson Maverick. And I would also like to recognize his wife Phyllis up in the gallery, his son Justin, his daughter-in-law Jess, his daughter Denise, and his daughter Lauren.
Will guests of Representative DeSana please rise? Thank you for sharing in Representative DeSana's service. And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. We appreciate everything you did along with Representative Bruce Patterson during his time, and thank you for being here with us today. He was a great guy. I knew Representative and Senator Patterson very well, and he was just a fierce advocate for Wayne County. I remember when he was parliamentarian of the Michigan Republican Party, and he continued to mentor people for years after that, of all kinds of people all over the state. So he was just a great guy, and it's very nice to see him get that joint resolution today. So welcome to the guests. We're grateful you're here. The House will stand at ease at call of the chair.
For the purposes of an introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Hope.
This is actually for an announcement. Democratic colleagues, we are caucusing. Please report to the caucus room as soon as possible.
The House will come to order. Speaker recognizes Majority Caucus Chair Borton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Attention, Republican members. We have a Republican caucus in the Republican caucus room. Republican members, we have Republican caucus in the Republican caucus room. Thank you.
The House will go at ease at the call of the chair.
For the purposes of an introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Bruck.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I have two special guests on the floor today. State Armor founder Michael Lucy and then Rob Pierce. They work for State Armor, which is an independent think tank, and they're here as my guests on the floor today. And I'd like to state that Rob is also a Navy veteran as well.
I'd like to wish a warm welcome to Representative Bruck's special guests. Welcome to the House of Representatives. The House will come to order and proceed to analysis by the clerk of printing and enrollment.
The clerk announced the following bills reproduced and made available electronically on Tuesday, March 10th. House Bills 5688 through 5708. The clerk announced the following bills reproduced and made available electronically on Wednesday, March 11th. Senate Bills 821 through 833. The clerk announced the following Senate bills received on Wednesday, March 11th. Senate Bills 449 through 451, 525, 581, 701, and 702, and 716.
Reports of standing committees.
The Committee on Natural Resources and Tourism, Representative Martin Chair, reported House Bill 5680 with recommendation that the substitute H1 be adopted and the bill then pass.
We refer to the order of second reading of bills.
The Committee on Health Policy, Representative Vanderwall Chair, reported Senate Bill 398 with recommendation the bill referred to the Committee on Rules.
We refer to the Committee on Rules.
The Committee on Appropriations, Representative Boland Chair, reported House Bill 4702 without amendment with recommendation the bill pass.
We refer to the order of second reading of bills.
The Committee on Appropriations, Representative Boland Chair, reported House Bill 4724 without amendment with recommendation the bill pass.
We refer to the order of second reading of bills.
The Committee on Judiciary, Representative Leitner Chair, reported House Bill 5465 with recommendation that the substitute one be adopted and the bill then pass.
Bill, we refer to the order of second reading of bills. Notices.
A revised agenda has been issued for the House Committee on Regulatory Reform, scheduled for Thursday, March 12th at 9 a.m., room 519 of the House Office Building. And the House Committee on Economic Competitiveness will meet Thursday, March 12th at 10:30 a.m., room 521 of the House Office Building.
Announcements by the clerk.
To Clerk Scott Starr from Representative Preston. Pursuant to Rule 40, Paragraph 4, I hereby request that my name be removed as co-sponsor of House Bill 5093.
The House will stand at ease.
I can have your attention for purposes of an introduction. The chair recognizes Representative Jamie Green.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So today I have volunteers and constituents, 2 students from my district, here from the American Heart Association for their annual lobby day in the East Gallery. Could you please give them a round of applause?
Would Representative Green's special guest please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives.
The House will come to order. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House proceed to the order of second reading of bills and take up calendar item number 41, House Bill 4711.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 41, House Bill 4711, introduced by Representative Hoadley, a bill to amend the Self-Storage Facility Act. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Hoadley offers a floor substitute H2, identified as Amendment Number 1.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Continuing on the order of second reading of bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 62, House Bill 4510.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 62, House Bill 4510, introduced by Representative Schuette, a bill to amend the Public Employee Retirement System Investment Act. The people of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Committee on Economic Development, Representative Hoadley Chair recommends the adoption of substitute H2.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Paquette offers a series of two amendments identified as Amendment 1A.
The question is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Continuing on the order of second reading of bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 63, House Bill 4511.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 63, House Bill 4511, introduced by Representative Postumus, a bill to prohibit the banning provision of permitting or licensure requirements or provision of other impairments of or for the holding of digital assets. The people of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Postumus offers a floor substitute H1, identified as Amendment 1.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Continuing on the order of second reading of bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 79, House Bill 4908.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 79, House Bill 4908, introduced by Representative Rheingans, a bill to amend the Occupational Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
The Committee on Rules, Representative Schuette Chair recommends the adoption of substitute H1.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Continuing on the order of second reading of bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 82, House Bill 5249.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 82, House Bill 5249, introduced by Representative Preston, a bill to amend the Public Health Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Committee on Rules, Representative Schuette Chair recommends the adoption of substitute H1.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Continuing on the order reading of second reading of bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 83, House Bill 5343.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar number 83, House Bill 5343, introduced by Representative Aragona, a bill to amend the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a second time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Committee on Rules, Representative Schuette Chair recommends the adoption of substitute H1.
The question is on the adoption of the substitute. The clerk will open the board. The substitute is adopted. Are there further amendments? There being no further amendments, the question before the House is advancing the bill to the order of third reading. Hearing no objection, the bill is on third reading. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Bagol.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House proceed the order of motions and resolutions and take up House Resolution 260.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution Number 260, introduced by Representative Miller, a resolution to declare March 8th through 14th, 2026 as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week in the state of Michigan.
Members, we've got a colleague wishing to address the body. Please give her your attention. Speaker recognizes Representative Miller.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of this resolution declaring March 8th through the 14th, 2026 as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week in Michigan. MS is a chronic disease that affects the central nervous system by disrupting communication between the brain, spine, and body. Nearly 1 million people in the United States are living with MS, and thousands of families are affected by this. And I know this firsthand, not only as a legislator, but someone who lives with MS every day. Some of the symptoms include fatigue, mobility challenges, visions, cognitive changes, and typically affects you when you're in the prime of your life. And while there's currently no cure, research has been made and significant progress is in developing treatments that help people manage the disease and maintain a higher quality of life. This progress is only possible because of the tireless work that scientists, healthcare professionals, and advocacy organizations have done in support of those living with MS every day. MS is unpredictable and is often invisible. Some days are harder than others, but like so many people living with this disease, we show up, we show courage, we show our families, our communities, and even on days where our bodies are hurting, making it harder, we do what we gotta do. Those living with MS show incredible resilience. And by recognizing Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week, we honor those living with MS, we support their families and caregivers that have been affected by MS, and commit ourselves to advancing research towards this horrible disease. And while MS might be part of my story, it does not define my purpose here. I stand today committed to raising awareness, supporting research, and fighting for a future where no one has to live with MS. So today, I ask each and every one of you, my colleagues, to join me in supporting this resolution by co-sponsoring on the electronic portal declaring this week as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week to raise awareness for the millions of people affected by this horrible disease. Thank you.
The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 260. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. For the purpose of introduction, the Speaker recognizes Representative Breen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, we have with us today a group of young, amazing professionals from the Michigan Association of Justice's Leadership Academy. They are here to prepare themselves for leadership positions in law and policy, pursue access to justice, and help some of our most vulnerable Michiganders. They are here in the East Gallery today.
Will the guests of Representative Breen please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives.
For the purposes of introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Fairbairn.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. On the floor with me today, I have some special guests, Eliza Roger and Anya Peck, who are members of the Petoskey Youth Advisory Council, along with Petoskey City Council member and Mayor Pro Tem Tina DeMoore.
Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. For the purposes of an introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Steele.
Thank you, Clerk. Today, I would like to welcome a guest from our district. He's in the gallery today, and his name is Jeffrey Amtevet.
The special guest of Representative Steele, please rise. Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. The House come to order and proceed to introduction of bills.
Representative Roth offers House Bill 5709, a bill to amend the Public Health Code. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Health Policy.
Representative Wenzel offers House Bill 5710, a bill to amend an act to provide for the regulation and control of public and certain private utilities and other services offered within a public interest within this state. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Energy.
Representative Altman offers House Bill 5711, a bill to amend the Clean and Renewable Energy and Energy Waste Reduction Act. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Energy. Messages from the Senate.
To the Speaker of the House of Representatives, dear sir, I herewith transmit Senate Bill 449, a bill to require hospitals to develop and implement financial assistance programs for certain patients. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Health Policy.
I herewith transmit Senate Bill 450, a bill to amend an act to enable counties to establish and maintain public hospitals. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Health Policy.
I herewith transmit Senate Bill 451, a bill to prohibit certain or customer reporting agencies from including certain information related to medical debt in consumer reports. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Health Policy.
I herewith transmit Senate Bill 525, a bill to amend the Unmanned Aircraft Systems Act. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure.
I herewith transmit Senate Bill 581, a bill to amend the Recodified Tax Increment Financing Act. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Economic Competitiveness.
I herewith transmit Senate Bill 701, a bill to amend the Michigan Consumer Protection Act. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Health Policy.
I herewith transmit Senate Bill 702, a bill to limit interest and charges on medical debt. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Health Policy.
I herewith transmit Senate Bill 716, a bill to amend the Public Health Code. People of the State of Michigan, enact.
Bill be considered at a first time by title, referred to Committee on Health Policy. Notices.
To Clerk Scott Starr from Speaker Matt Hall. Dear Mr. Clerk, pursuant to Rule 40, I am referring House Bills 5698 and House Bills 5699 to the Committee on Agriculture.
The House will stand at ease.
The House will come to order. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House proceed to order a third reading of bills and take up calendar item number 4.1, House Bill 4711.
Without objection, so ordered.
And
The clerk
place
will
it on
read.
its immediate passage.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 4.1, House Bill 4711, introduced by Representative Hoadley, a bill to amend the Self-Storage Facility Act, the people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. Speaker recognizes Minority Floor Leader Fitzgerald.
Thank you. I move to excuse Representative Neely, please.
So ordered. The clerk will close the board. Representative Begole votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4711, there are 89 aye votes and 17 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
I move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 24, House Bill 5157.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 24, House Bill 5157, introduced by Representative Kuhn, a bill to amend the Michigan Penal Code. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are not. Speaker recognizes Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Permission to speak to the entire package?
So ordered.
Thank you. I rise today in strong opposition to House Bill 5157 and 5158. These bills take us backwards, back to policies of the 1980s and early 1990s. Some of us remember those early years. There was a time when the fear of drugs led this country to embrace a simple answer to a complex problem: prison. More arrests, longer sentences, and more prisons. Communities like mine, Saginaw, were told the solution was to unleash the full weight of the criminal justice system. Madam Speaker, the statistics paint the full picture of what I'm talking about. Here in Michigan, black residents are incarcerated at 6 to 7 times the rate of white residents. Today, here in Michigan, more than half the people who are incarcerated look like me, are black. Today, Michigan, and I'm not proud of this statistics, Michigan has the highest number of individuals in the entire nation who were sentenced as children to life without parole. And here are another statistics I'm not proud of, Madam Speaker. And 70% of those children look like me, black. These numbers paint a picture of families torn apart, communities destabilized, generations, I literally mean generations, scarred and lives destroyed. Madam Speaker, these bills move us further down the same road of perdition. These bills would make it possible for someone to receive a life sentence that deliver a Schedule I or a Schedule II drug that will result in serious injuries to life in prison. Think about that. A life sentence. Even though the current law already imposes several penalties for drug delivery and already allows life imprisonment when delivery causes death. So the question before us is simple. Madam Speaker, have we learned anything from the last 40 years of mass incarceration? It must be repeated. There is no credible evidence, none, that increasing prison sentences for drug offenses deter drug use, prevent overdoses, or prevents drug crimes. What we do know is that it expands prisons. Madam Speaker, in Michigan alone, prisons are already under strain. We all know this. We are currently short-staffed roughly around 900 corrections officers today. Yet, this legislation will cause an increase in prison population by hundreds or even thousands of additional non-assaultive offenders in the years ahead, with no plan of how the state will safely house them. And on top of that, the cost is staggering. Here's another set of stats that's really troubling. It costs the state of Michigan, general fund dollars, about $48,000 for every year for an incarcerated person. Just one person, $48,000. That's a pretty good salary if a person was working and trying to get a job, but we pay that to keep a person locked up. When we pass policies like this, we commit taxpayer dollars to spending tens of thousands of dollars per person every year for decades, all for a policy that has little evidence of solving the problem. Madam Speaker, I submit Michigan once followed the exact path of harsher and harsher sentences in times past. Going back by 2007, our prison population had grown more than 50,000. We're around 32 to 33,000 now, last check. Think about that, 51,000. And it did not deliver the public safety results that we all were promised. But what it did do, at a colossal cost to the taxpayers and to the minority community, that's what it did. It added cost to our taxpayers, and it eradicated large numbers of minority persons from the communities and their families. And as a result, in Michigan, having one of the most punitive systems, I'm not proud of this either, one of the most punitive systems in the entire country, Michigan, the great state of Michigan. We have that status. We've tried this experiment before, and it failed. It failed. Madam Speaker, if we truly want safer communities, I submit this. We should be investing in prevention, treatment, recovery, and more opportunities to our constituents in this great state. We should not be doubling down on the policies that expand incarceration without addressing the root causes of the addiction and drug-related crimes. And also, we should not repeat the policies that have already produced such an unequal outcome across our system. You know, you heard the old adage, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. That is so true. So I urge my colleagues, let's not continue the failed policies of the past. And Madam Speaker, for those reasons, I respectfully ask for a no vote on House Bills 5157 and 5158. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Harris.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Permission to speak to the whole package.
So ordered.
I'd like to talk about some of those families that have been destroyed or separated. You know, many of you know that I've worked in law enforcement for 26 years. Those years included a lot of stories, including many tragic ones. Those hardest days have some of the common themes: drug use, sale, and trafficking chief among them. In Michigan, there is a very significant gap in how we hold dealers accountable for trafficking dangerous narcotics. A dealer could sell a college kid a pill laced with a deadly amount of fentanyl, leading to a near-death incident. And we could only arrest that person for selling the drugs. There is no criminal penalty for selling a controlled substance that results in somebody's serious injury. And there is no penalty for carelessly and knowingly putting lives at risk. If that same kid died, that dealer is facing a mountain of legal trouble. But just because somebody pulls through means that the dealer gets what often amounts to nothing more than a slap on the wrist. Many times that dealer isn't going to change. They're going to go right back to selling the same trash until they do kill somebody. And that's unacceptable, and it's tragic. I cannot count the number of homes that I've been in where somebody has died after drug use. The number of family members' hands that I've held as they grieved over the loss of a loved one. It's experiences I wouldn't wish on my worst enemies. And the one thing that dealers in prison can't do, that's deal more lethal drugs to our children. My years in law enforcement prove that heroin and fentanyl don't pick victims based on skin color or neighborhood. They don't pick based on age or past drug use. They're dangerous for everyone that we represent. We have a responsibility to protect our communities, whether they're in northern Michigan or Detroit. This legislation gives us an opportunity to get these dealers off the street before they kill someone else. Thank you, and I urge our support.
The question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Begole votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 5157, there are 57 aye votes and 49 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
I move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House, continuing on the order of third reading bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 25, House Bill 5158.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 25, House Bill 5158, introduced by Representative Kuhn, a bill to amend the Code of Criminal Procedure. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Begole votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 5158, there are 57 aye votes and 49 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
I move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move the House take up calendar item number 23, House Bill 4582.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 23, House Bill 4582, introduced by Representative Neyer, a bill to provide for the liability of possessors of real property for injuries to invitees. People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are not. Speaker recognizes Representative Neyer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I speak in support of House Bill 4582. Right now, small businesses, farms, retailers, restaurants, property owners across Michigan are facing legal uncertainty. Without the previous clear, reliable standards that Open and Obvious provided, more caseloads are being pushed deeper into litigation, few if any meritless claims are being dismissed early, and liability costs continue to rise across the state. Small businesses are especially vulnerable. They often can't afford the long drawn-out legal battles and are pressured into settling out of court for even if they're not at fault. The current system created by Michigan Supreme Court has increased unpredictability, driven up legal costs, and put additional pressures on insurance rates. And let's be honest about this. We cannot drive down the highway or look at a city bus without seeing an ad for bodily injury ads. And we know who benefits the most from these, and it's not the consumer. Increased costs don't stay in the classroom. They get passed, or in the courtroom. They get passed on to businesses, passed on to consumers, and passed on to our families. Higher liability exposure means higher insurance rates and premiums. Higher insurance rate and premiums means higher cost of operation. Higher cost of operation means less money going to wages, investments, and expansion in our communities. Because of recent court decisions, Michigan's now a legal outlier, and as 41 other states have liability protections like Open and Obvious once provided. House Bill 4582 fixes this issue. It restores the previous liability protections that Michigan had followed for decades. It ensures that property owners are not punished for conditions that are open and obvious hazards. In addition, it prevents trespassers from being able to sue a landowner if they are injured on their property. This bill is about fairness, and it allows the true victims their day in court sooner and not being bogged down by an overloaded system. It's also about protecting businesses and job creators and restoring some semblance of reason back into Michigan law. Madam Speaker, I ask for your support of House Bill 4582, and thank you.
The question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Bagol votes. Representative Bagol votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, the question of final passage of House Bill 4582. There are 58 aye votes and 48 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore the bill has passed. Speaker Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Bagol.
I move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Bagol.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 20, House Bill 4583.
Without objection, so ordered, the clerk will read.
Calendar item number 20, House Bill 4583, introduced by Representative Maddock, a bill to amend the General Property Tax Act. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are not. Speaker recognizes Representative Schriver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Bill 4584 may look like a technical election bill, but it addresses something many of us have heard directly from our constituents. Across Michigan, voters often feel like important local questions, such as millages, bonds, or tax increases, appear on the ballot at odd times of the year when very few people even know that an election is happening. I have personally heard from my constituents who feel frustrated when they find out a tax proposal passed in an election where turnout was extremely low. One of the most underrated parts of this bill is that it improves transparency. By consolidating elections into more predictable and widely recognized election dates, we make it far more likely that voters will actually know when decisions affecting their taxes and local communities are being made. Another important but often overlooked aspect of this bill is related to cost. Every election requires staffing, equipment, and administrative work from our clerks and counties. Holding elections on established dates helps reduce the number of one-off elections that taxpayers ultimately have to fund. The bill also adds clearer standards for petitions that call for special elections on school district millages or bonds, including signature thresholds and timelines. These are common sense guardrails that help ensure voters understand exactly what is being proposed before it appears on the ballot. At the end of the day, this bill is about something simple: transparency, predictability, and making sure voters have a fair opportunity to participate when decisions about raising taxes are on the ballot. For these reasons, I ask my colleagues to support this bill. God bless you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for giving me the time to speak.
Speaker recognizes Representative Maddock.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sorry about that. May I speak to both bills?
So ordered.
You know, whether or not someone is opposed or in favor of a tax increase really isn't the point here. However, there's something that I'm sure we can all agree on in this chamber, something that I learned many years ago. The more people that participate in the political process, specifically elections, the better government we're going to get. Moving these tax increases or bond issues to the November election will oftentimes triple to quadruple the amount of voters participating in our political process. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Kunse votes aye. Representative Bagol votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4583, there are 56 aye votes and 50 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Bagol.
I move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Bagol.
Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 21, House Bill 4584.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 21, House Bill 4584, introduced by Representative Maddock, a bill to amend the Michigan election law, People of the State of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Cabot votes aye. Representative Bagol votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4584, there are 56 aye votes and 50 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Bagol.
I move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Continuing on the order of third reading of bills, I move that the House take up calendar item number 22, House Bill 5032.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 22, House Bill 5032, introduced by Representative Kelly, a bill to amend the revised school code. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are. The clerk will read.
Representative Bolin offers a series of 3 amendments identified as Amendment 1.
On third reading, amendments require support. Is there support? There is support. The question for the House is on the adoption of the amendment. The clerk will open the board. The amendment is adopted. Are there further amendments? There be no further amendments. Sorry, back up. Speaker recognizes Representative Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Colleagues, every dollar sent from Lansing to our local districts carries a sacred promise that it will be used to educate our children. When we authorize state school aid funds, we do so with the intent of putting books in libraries, technology in classrooms, and quality teachers at the front of the room. However, right now we see a loophole where these vital resources are diverted away from the classroom and toward the administrative costs of special elections. We've all seen it, elections held in the middle of May or August, often with low turnout, designed to push through bond proposals when the fewest numbers of taxpayers are looking. House Bill 5032 is about fiscal integrity and prioritizing students. It simply states that if a district chooses to bypass the general election, they cannot dip into the pot of money meant for student instruction to cover those costs. By requiring these elections to be funded through private donations rather than state aid, we ensure 2 things. First, school aid stays where it belongs, in the classroom. Second, it encourages districts to hold elections during general cycles when the most voters are present and the cost to the district is 0. Let's protect the classroom. Let's protect the taxpayer. I urge a yes vote on House Bill 5032. Thank you.
There being no further amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board. Representative Alexander votes aye. Representative Begole votes aye. The clerk will tally, display, and announce the vote.
May I speak on the question of final passage of House Bill 5032? There are 57 aye votes and 49 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the bill has passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
I move for immediate effect.
The Majority Floor Leader moves for immediate effect. All those in favor will rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Representative Jenkins-Arno.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Committee on Labor and Economic Opportunity will reconvene at 4:30.
Members, please take note. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House proceed to the order of motions and resolutions.
Without objection, so ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that committees be given leave to meet during the balance of today's session.
Intro. Speaker recognizes Representative Rheingans for the purpose of an introduction.
Thank you so much, Chair Schmidt. I wanted to say hi and greet our Secretary of State, who's so hardworking. She was watching us vote on election-related bills, but she's also joined today by recent Survivor TV show winner, Kyle Frazier, who is from Michigan. So they're both up in the South Gallery.
Colleagues, please join me in welcoming the Secretary of State and Representative Rheingans' guests to the Michigan House of Representatives. The House will go at ease at the call. Speaker recognizes Representative Rogers.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I, too, have a special guest for MML, our Portage City Council member, Nicole Miller, as well as Council member Jihan Young.
Will the special guest of Representative Rogers please rise? And welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Begole.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to let the members know, there'll be no further voting today. When the House adjourns today, the House will stand adjourned until Thursday, March 12th, 2026 at 12 p.m.
The House will go at ease at the call of the chair.
There being no further business to come before the House, Representative Beerline moves that the House do now adjourn. Hearing no objection, the House will stand adjourned until Thursday, March 12th, 2026 at 12 o'clock noon.